What's up, everybody? Welcome to June 15th. Today is Father's Day. First off, I want to say happy birthday to my daughter, Caitlin. She is 22 years old today. I love you with all my heart. I had a wonderful time yesterday, and happy birthday. With that, everybody knows today's Father's Day. So I also wanted to say happy Father's Day to all the men out there, all the fathers, grandfathers, brothers, anybody that stepped up, stepfathers or whatever the case is, whether you be paternal or whatever you are. If you're a father, I want to say happy Father's Day to all men. As you can tell from the thumbnail, today we're going to be talking about the underdogs. And I'm grateful for that dog in me, that fight. I'm grateful for being able to withstand a lot of different things. And I'm grateful for the people that invested that fight in me to make me who I am. Now, if you don't know what an underdog is, which I seriously doubt, everybody knows what the underdog is. They're the people that are not these big giants, you know? They're the mom and pops. They are that individual worker. They're that one company that's starting up and they're going against these big, either corporate giants or, like, for example, in my world, the photography world, when we started, there was some major players in this whole market, and there still is. But the newcomers, people like us, when we hit the market, those are the underdogs. And the fight that's in them is crazy. Now, I'm aware that not everybody's gonna agree with what I say, you know? Not everybody's gonna be on board. And like the other videos that we were talking about, I went back and I reflected on different things in my life. Also, this is day 15. Yesterday was a crazy day. I uploaded day 14, but then I woke up this morning and I went back to my YouTube. I went to my creator tool and I saw that day 14th was still pending to post. So I didn't skip a day. That day is there. It just, YouTube didn't pick it up and it should be pushed out. So it might be, you might see this video and that video. You'll see the numbers on the title. It'll say day 14, day 15. So, and if you're not following this series, go back and follow. I got 3 more days of this. Tomorrow will be Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's it. We're done. So with this, like I said, we're going to be talking about that dog in people and what that means, what that does for you. When you have that hunger, it helps you jump over that doubt. Am I good enough? Can I contend with these other people? And if you don't have that fight, then you're going to be crushed, especially when you're dealing with these larger companies and they have the bags for it. You know, you could post something and they'll post something and they'll boost it. We've seen it everywhere, especially in the photography world. You could post something, you can have the best photo ever. And you'll see Joe Schmo and he's posting up whatever, maybe that's, I don't knock anybody for their photos. I actually look past that. I look at their techniques and their follow through and then their social marketing. And if you're not looking that way and you're looking at just the surface, it's going to be hard to jump over that hurdle and be like, hey, you know what, I can contend, especially on here. On YouTube, you could see it. I mean, there's tons of people that have big monster accounts, tons of views and stuff like that. They have their teams working on their thumbnails. You know, they generate 2 or 3 different thumbnails and it just works. You know, they have that following and it's a continual growth and it just grows and grows and grows. But if you peel that back, they started from somewhere. And a majority of them will tell them they had that fight in them. And they had that competitor that they were looking at, that they admired. And then they had the competitors that they were looking at, that they wanted just to beat. And they focused on that. So like I said, some people might agree with what I think. I'm grateful for that fight in me. I'm grateful for the men that invested that fight into me. Like my father, my Uncle Jeffrey. There's so many people I can name that really made an influence on me. But the 2 I always fall on is my father, Oscar, and then my uncle, which my middle name comes from, Jeffrey. Both have passed. And I felt that, I felt that loss of both men, because they were major components of how I am, what they've instilled into me, and how I've progressed over time. And certain words stuck with me. Or when my father worked, we worked a lot of the jobs that people didn't want to have. It was construction work. We would be on the side of the street down in San Antonio. They'd be like, hey, I need 3 or 4. Boom, jump on the truck, work hard. And even though it wasn't consistent work, later in life, my father did find a stable job, that he stayed years with. But even though those jobs were the ones that people didn't want, or whatever the case is, what they say, when I saw him working harder than all the younger cats and stuff like that, the beast of a man that he was, it stuck with me. The real question is, are you the underdog? Do you have that fight in you, Do you want that? Or do you want to just sit back and let everybody just stomp all over you? Take the market in full, not compete. I implore anybody, in whatever position you're at, this is not just like for YouTube or photography. You can use it in anything in life. If you're starting up your own company, find yourself some major players. Reach out to them if they're kind or whatever the case is. They want to help you out. Most of the time, I want to say about 99.99.99.99%, they're not going to help you. Because you're new, you're coming in, you're going to take a piece of their pie or whatever the case is. They're not going to help. And the ones that say, yeah, I can help you out. Eventually, once you start producing or you start competing and you start making an impact, they're going to cut you off. I implore you to, this is what I did. I found the major players in my market. And like I said, I didn't know anything about photography. I don't know nothing about editing before. None of that stuff. I worked in the corporate world, and this I thought was going to be a hobby for my wife. I didn't think we were going to go any further, or whatever the case is. But I mean, when we started producing, our photos didn't look like other people. We would have like the onesie twosies, and it's true, like they say, don't share your business with all your family and your friends, because they're going to be the least ones. I don't know why. Anytime I see any of my friends or anybody that I love, I support them. I'll like their stuff. I'll share their stuff. I don't know why we as people would rather see our family members not achieve their goals, My son-in-law, he's practicing to be a tattoo artist. And I'm investing into him. I'm giving him ideas. I'll see his stuff posted on Instagram and I'll reshare. Boom, 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 boom. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how you can help anybody. You don't have to get a photo shoot from somebody. You don't have to get a tattoo from my son-in-law or whatever the case is. You can just support by saying, hey, you know what? I liked your video. I shared your video. I'm putting the seed into your growth. Try not to go off course. Like I said, I get emotional about different things and I start focusing and then I lose the main focus of this. I implore you to do 3 things. We'll see if I can come up with the 3, or I might come up with more. But 3. Number 1, find your major competitors, the ones that you want to be like. Not copycat, but that you admire. Second, peel back that onion. Look at their post. Look and see, are they boosting? Are they paying for Google ads? Are they implementing different SEO tactics to make that boost become bigger? Look at their descriptions. Take a deep dive into what they do. Look at how they have their accounts set up, their website. Their website is the biggest indicator of everything. A lot of people focus on Instagram, especially photographers. They focus on like, oh my God, that guy's got like 1 million, quadrillion followers on there. He's got like 1 million views on this one post they did. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, their photo got picked up by this. Take that and go look at the other social medias. Look at TikTok. Sorry, I'm all tick. Look at TikTok. Look at Facebook. Look at YouTube. Look at Google Business Profile, LinkedIn, Reddit, everywhere else. This is where the second part comes in. Acknowledge where they're not posting, where they're not at, and devour that. Devour that community. Blow that up. Find the niche. If you have a certain niche that you're working on, say you do animal photography, put animal photography on where they're not. Don't fish in the same pond. So many people, and I stand on that. So many people fish in the same damn pond thinking that they're going to catch the biggest fish out of there. Brother, everybody's got their own lines in there, and they're all beep, 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 pick me, pick me, pick me. Get out of there. Expand. That's number 2. Wait, no, peel back, yeah. Number 2. So now we're going to number 3. Once you start posting on those other platforms, start going back to where they're at too. And, spritz some things in there. But ultimately, what you're doing is you're building all these behind the scenes, going where they're not. You're everywhere and everywhere and anywhere, but just not in that same damn pond. And that is how you're going to take over your market. That's how you're going to crush your competitors. That takes a lot of work. No joke. Because there's a reason why they're going to just Instagram. The reason that they're just in one social media, or whatever the case is because they either failed on the other ones or they don't have the time. They're just dumping on one. Whatever the reason that they're not posting everything, which I wouldn't understand because it's all free. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you have that fight, that dog fight, you're gonna explode everywhere else, and then they're gonna start catching on. Like with us, we're everywhere. It doesn't matter. You can Google us and you'll find us on like Joe Schmo website, whatever, because I want everybody to know who we are everywhere. I want them, if they go into Google and they're like, hey, looking for a quinceañera dress, whatever the case is, boom, oh my God, there's Fotolilly. You know what? I needed that dress, but I'm gonna go to these guys because they take some awesome photos. Or if they're like, hey, I needed senior photography, they're just typing in blah, 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 blah. Boom, then it's right back to us. Devour your market. That's how you're gonna do it. Don't niche yourself just to that one little pond. Explode everywhere. And that's what I'm grateful for today on June 15th. I was trying to think of what I'm grateful for. And then I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I do get exhausted. I'm like, dude, I'm like putting on here, putting on there, this and that. But that's when discipline takes over motivation. You can be tired at sometimes. It's like the gym. If you're disciplined to go in the gym every single day, that's where you're going to be, regardless of what happens. The past 2 days, like I said, June is always hectic for us. And then I started this countdown to my 50 with my daughter's birthday, Father's Day, and then my birthday, and then my wedding anniversary. There's so much going on. But that's when I rely on that dog inside of me. That's when I rely on that discipline, that hunger, that fire, and ultimately push myself. So if you like what you heard today, if you didn't, drop a comment. Help me out. Give me some tips. If you want to hear different, if you have a question for me, a different topic to talk about, drop it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to cover it. If I know something about it. If I don't, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, Charlie. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do that, but I do this. And let me hit you with that. So until tomorrow, deuces.